the 31st of December, meaning we've come to the end of the year 2022. I hope you had a good one and you're looking forward to an even better one when it comes to 2023. We're just counting hours before we usher in the new year. Other parts of the world have already ushered in 2023. I'm talking about places like Australia, New Zealand, and all these other places that have already celebrated, or rather ushered in 2023. Here in Kenya, we're just counting hours. By, I think, in the next 4 or 5 hours, we'll be ushering in the new year. I hope you had a good year in 2022. That's the question we're asking tonight. How was your 2022? And also, what are you looking forward when it comes to 2023? Welcome to the program tonight. My name is Brian Amwai. Our sign language interpreter is Philista Adundo. These are the top stories tonight. Tonight.
Imekuwa ngumu kiasi, lakini tunaomba next year Mungu akipenda 2023 kuwe yenye manufaa. Budget, president wetu arudishe budget chini.
2023 natarajia rais atatufanyia maneno mazuri. Natarajia kuoa mimi kama kijana.
50% of Kenyans say 2022 has been the worst year, citing high cost of living and unemployment, according to an InfoTrack report. Also tonight,
we know that drought has affected more than half of the counties in this country, with more than 4 million people affected. We have decided to distribute food as part of the drought steering committee.
The National Drought Steering Committee leads food distribution exercise in Samburu as drought continues to ravage parts of the country. On our Born a Man segment tonight, we tell you the story of a recovering drug and alcoholic addict, his tribulations and lessons from his near-death experience. Right, now remember, you can be part of the program tonight by engaging us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at LookUpTV. The hashtag to use tonight is LookUpWeekend. It is a Saturday, of course. And we are also live on Facebook, where you can send your feedback there, and we'll be able to sample some of it as we continue with the program tonight. We're looking at what are some of your expectations when it comes to 2023, and what are some of your achievements and also disappointments this year. Let's get started. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has made senior appointments at the ministry headquarters and regional commissioners to enhance service delivery. Now, all new regional commissioners have been recalled to the headquarters for a further deployment. Rhoda Onyancha will head the Coast Region, John Otieno, Northeastern, Paul Rotich, Eastern Region, Frederick Sishia in Central, Abdi Hassan in Rift Valley, Samson Irungu, Western Region, Flora Moria in Nyanza, and Kate Mwanza in Nairobi. Now moving on to something that has to do with this year that we want to close tonight. 50% of Kenyans say 2022 has been the worst year. Now this is according to the latest report by research firm InfoTrack. Kenyans cited the prevailing high cost of living, unemployment, and access to healthcare services as key issues of concern. Now the report further indicates that this year's issues are almost a replica similar of the 2021 results, as the country bids goodbye to 2022 and ushers in 2023. 82% rather of Kenyans are, however, optimistic that 2023 will be better than 2022. As the year 2022 comes to an end, it is a year that has been described as the worst ever, with 50% of Kenyans dissatisfied with what it had to offer. The latest research conducted by research firm InfoTrack shows that only 22% of Kenyans thought that 2022 was a good year, with 28% holding the view that it was average.
2022 is finally coming to a close. A very active year. A year where we had a hotly contested election, a year where we have also had to deal with quite a number of challenges, evolving around economic hardships, evolving around food security and climate change. But in our usual nature, in Kenyans' usual nature, we have remained resilient. And in the tradition of InfoTrack that has been there for over 10 years, we close the year by asking Kenyans what they thought of the year and what their expectations would be of the year to come.
Going by gender, 52% of women felt like 2022 was a bad year, while 48% of men held the same view, with 26% of women feeling it was average, while 30% of men held the same view. Western region led with the highest number of people who felt the year 2022 was a bad year at 57%, followed by the coast with 54%, and Nyanza with 53%, while Nairobi came fourth with 50%. Key issues of concern for a majority are the high cost of living at 52%, unemployment at 42%, access to healthcare at 30%, quality education at 24%, with corruption taking 15% among other issues. The top three issues of concern seem not to have changed compared to 2021.
If we compare 2021 to 2022, this year, December, then we see that things haven't changed much. The same issues that arose and emanated in December 2021 are the very same issues that we see arising now. And I think it behooves on the new government, hot on the heels of being elected and with all the enthusiasm that is being portrayed, it may behoove the government to just address these 5 issues over and above the pledges that were made to ensure that, Kenyans feel that comfort and the ease that they have, a government that cares, and that their quality of life can be commensurate to the dreams and aspirations that they have as Kenyans. On behalf of InfoTrack, we wish you a very blessed and prosperous 2023. God bless you.
With just hours to 2023, 82% of Kenyans are hopeful that 2023 will be better than 2022. The regions that are leading with a high level of optimism are Northeastern with 88%, Rift Valley with 86%, and Central Kenya with 85%. Brian Amwai, Nairobi. Now, 2022 has been an eventful year, and with the end, the year resolutions take center stage. On Your Opinion Matters segment tonight, our reporter Edwin John Mkora went out to the streets of Nairobi to engage Kenyans on their expectations and resolutions as they usher in the year 2023.
As the nation continues to experience hard-hitting drought in several counties, subjecting over 4 million Kenyans to pangs of hunger, the Drought Response Committee, formed by the head of state, President William Ruto, has intensified relief food distribution exercise to save affected families that are at the brink of starvation.
We have decided to distribute food as part of the Drought Steering Committee, targeting about 50 million worth of food over this Christmas period.
As the year 2022 comes to an end, we ask Kenyans how the year has been for them and the hopes and the resolutions they have for the year 2023.
Kulingana na maoni zangu, hii mwaka I think upande wangu imekuwa na magumu sana kwa Wakenya wenzangu, na kama wengine wanajiweza na wengine hawajiwezi, but magumu yapo. Haswa tukiangaza, tulianza na corona ndio hiyo msukumo, watu wengine waliluzi vibarua, wengi wakawa kwa manyumbani, so tena ikaandamana na upande wa wanasiasa, ndio hiyo siasa ikatamba nchi nzima, so kumekuwa na panda shuka tu, yani mwaka nzima tu nikiwa maoni yangu imekuwa na magumu.
Kwa hivyo sasa kwa ufupi ni mwaka ambaye naweza sema kwamba ni mwaka ambaye haustahili kuwa kusema kwamba ustahili ukumbuke. Ni mwaka ambao ulikuwa matatizo, ambaye sasa hata sasa hivi ukiangalia unaona vile watu wanaboeka ni kama watu wamefiwa.
Hii mwaka 22 nasikia imekuwa na manuksi mingi nini, kama tumepata na mashida, lakini tulikuwa na shukuru tu God juu mambo ilikuwa inaenda hivi, na kiu unajua sasa ni kungangana, unaona. Sasa unajua miaka ikisonga ikizidi kifaa nini, mambo inakuanga tu ile kungangana juu unajua obvious usipongangana hauwezi kafanya, huwezi ka success, unaona.
Biashara wise imekuwa tough sana. Kwa saa zingine iko too slow, saa zingine ina move fast lakini not fast enough venye ilikuwa before COVID. but hopefully 2023 itakuwa better.
2022 kwangu imekuwa ngumu, maisha ngumu, kila kitu iko high. So hatuwezi afford maisha.
2022 imekuwa ngumu kiasi. Tunaomba next year Mungu akipenda 2023 kuwe yenye manufaa. Budget, president wetu arudishe budget chini, unga ishuke.
2023 nitaomba Mungu anilinde, anibariki, nikuwe na maisha poa. Alafu naweza omba pia president wetu William Ruto ashukishe vitu, at least maisha ikuwe poa kwa kila mtu.
2023 natarajia rais atatufanyia maneno mazuri. Natarajia kuoa mimi kama kijana.
Ni kujigrow tu, like kibiashara, kifamilia bado.
2023 resolution zangu nataka njia zifunguke. Nifungue biashara zangu zikwe ipanuke.
Sasa unaona 23 ilikuwa nataka ni yani mtu tuseme tu yani mambo iko mzuri ni omoke nini, unaona mashughuli bado ni mimi mwana kama nachapa busy unaona. Sasa nilikuwa nataka 23 kama mambo zangu zina safi, kama God atafanya hii mwaka ikwe yani ikwe mwaka uradi. Yani mwaka ile msee anaweza pata riziki yake vizuri akili maisha yake unaona. Hivyo unacheki. Hivyo ndio nilikuwa natarajia tu.
Those are some of sentiments of Kenyans of how the year 2022 has felt them as they share some of their political, economical and personal resolutions as they usher in the new year 2023. Edwin John Mukora, Look Up TV.
All right, we do apologize for the earlier technical hitch. We are just as excited as you are to put this year to an end and start a new year in just a few hours. Away from that, now let's get to the story that got us a little bit mixed up. Now, the National Drought Management Authority, alongside the National Wakenya Tulindane Steering Committee on Drought Response formed by President William Ruto, has distributed relief food to thousands of residents affected by severe drought in Samburu County. Now, the Wakenya Tulindane Drought Response, led by Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa, has in the recent past distributed relief food to more than 5 counties that continue to experience one of the worst drought spells in recent years. All this through the courtesy of well-wishers. Our very own Henry Tende with more details on this particular story.
As the nation continues to experience hard-hitting drought in several counties, subjecting over 4 million Kenyans to pangs of hunger, the Drought Response Committee, formed by the head of state, President William Ruto, has intensified relief food distribution exercise to save affected families that are at the brink of starvation.
We have decided to distribute food as part of the Drought Steering Committee, targeting about 50 million worth of food over this Christmas period in 5 counties, Samburu, Kilifi, Meru and Kitui and Marsabit.
Samburu County is the latest beneficiary of the program. In an exercise spearheaded by Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa, residents here have received food that will last them for the next 1 month.
Here in Samburu East, we are distributing food to about 14,300 people. In total, countrywide, during this Christmas period, we'll have distributed food to 85,000 people. We know that this is just the emergency part of the contribution. The committee is committed to focus on also the future, especially for those communities like this one, which rely on livestock. It is important that we provide medium to long-term solutions.
The Wakenya Tulindane Steering Committee, formed by President Ruto, has been receiving donations from Kenyans and corporates of goodwill in concerted efforts to help their fellow Kenyans in the affected counties afford a meal and other basic needs.
We've been raising money since the committee was appointed by His Excellency the President, and so far we've raised more than 600 million shillings from communities, from ordinary Kenyans.
Samburu residents expressing their gratitude to all those who participated in one way or the other in ensuring they enjoy their Christmas festivity.
To appreciate and thank the team that has come today to offer food to our people, the Wakenya Tulindane program and the National Drought Steering Committee appointed by our President. I want to thank them all for the support they have provided to our people.
On behalf of the Samburu East people, residents, I want to say thank you. May God bless you. We appreciate the support.
Nasema asante sana kwa sababu serikali yetu naona sisi kwa shida ya jirani, kwa sababu ng'ombe imekwisha na mbuzi imekwisha na ngombe imekwisha.
It was indeed a happy end of the year for them. Henry Tende, Look Up TV.
All right, now we do want to take a short break here on the program. Don't go too far. Continue engaging us on our socials. At Amwai Brian on Twitter at Lookup TV. The hashtag is LookUpWeekend. Tell us where you're watching us from and what your expectations are of the 2023, and also some of the things you feel you achieved in this past year. Right? My name is Brian Amwai, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Philista Adundo. We'll be back in a few.
Mimi nilikuwa mmoja wa timu kubwa ya Arsenal na ngojea mazao yake.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, ni awamu nyingine tena ya bunge la mwenyeji ambapo tunasikia tu maoni ya wenyeji, hasa wananchi wa kawaida. Je, maoni ni yapi?
Anakwambia wananchi ndio kila kitu. Unaona dips na system ni wananchi. Unaona vile wamenyorosha watu bwana.
Tumeng'oa nanga kwenye bunge la mwenyeji.
So ile kitu tunamuomba asituachilie.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Good to have you join us on Heart to Heart.
We bring you stories of people who, despite the pressures they experienced, still trusted God to see them through.
The seeds that was sown in me helped me navigate and overcome that period of my life.
New testimonies, new insights, and even better revelation of the good things God has in store for us.
There is always a blessing waiting for someone in every episode.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Now, welcome back to the program. World leaders continue to mourn the former Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, who died on Saturday morning at the age of 95. Now, Benedict led the Catholic Church for over 7 years and stood down almost a decade ago due to ill health. The former Pope spent his final years at the Mater Excelsi Monastery within the walls of the Vatican, where he passed on. The Vatican has said the body of the Pope Emeritus will be placed in St. Peter's Basilica from 2nd of January for the greeting of the faithful and his successor, Pope Francis. Now, Kimana residents in Kajiado County are up in arms over escalating human-wildlife conflict that has left 2 people dead, crops and water sources destroyed in the last 2 weeks. Agitated locals say elephants are roaming within the Loitoktok agricultural belt, leaving a trail of destruction. Locals have since self-imposed a dawn to dusk curfew to avert further attacks affecting their businesses.
Saa hii ndefu imezumbua sana. Saa hii hakuna wea, imewacha chambani hailimi. Kaga imagine iko ni mingi, kaga kuna kazi anafanya. Kaga shida moja ni ndefu tu. Wea imeisha kabisa. Saa hii anaotesha miti hakuna, ndefu imesumbua. Jumapili imeua watu wa chambani, ndefu imesumbua sana. Na nataka msaada kaga ya hii shule. Na nataka boarding ya watoto, hakuna boarding. Shida ni mingi hapa shule, shauri ni ya ndefu.
Hata mtu hawezi toka nje kuanzia saa 11 mpaka saa 2 ya mchana. Mtu mmoja jana aliuawa siku hiyo Jumapili kutumia hizo ndovu, alikuwa anateremka kwenda kazini kwake, mahali anafanyia kazi. Kufika mahali akaja kuuawa juu ya hizo ndovu tu. Kutafuta mahali pa
kama hii boma ilivamiwa leo usiku. Ndovu imekuja, wameweka fence yao nzuri ya mabati, ndovu imekuja, imevunja hiyo fence yote. So unakuta hata watu wa hapa biashara zao hawawezi fanya, because kama mtu ako na biashara Kimana inabidi atoke nyumbani saa 4 na arudi saa 9. Kwa sababu akirudi akiwa amechelewa itabidi alale Kimana kwa sababu ya ndovu. Zimekuwa nyingi sana. Asubuhi mapema mtu haezi enda popote. Hata saa hii shule zimefungwa, ni afadhali. Shule zikifunguliwa wale watoto wanatoka huko mashinani wakija kwa hii shule, sijui watakuja vipi. Kwa hivyo ningependa kuomba KWS tafadhali wafanye kwa haraka kabla shule haijafunguliwa, kwa sababu watoto wa shule hawataweza kusoma, biashara za hawa watu, uchumi inaenda chini, unakuta watu wanatesa.
The issue to do with the KWS, the harassment that is going on in our people should come to an end. Let our people be given an opportunity. These people, we are also taking care of the wild animals, and also we guarantee them that if they continue doing good to us, we will continue doing good to them. If they continue to harass us now because we are suffering one drought, let them be sure we are also going to do something. We lost a life and they never said anything in Kimana because of all the issue of the elephants.
Now, this week on Bonaman, Cecilia Lubanga tells the story of Kennedy Ngumo, a man who barely made it alive after years of struggling with drug and alcohol abuse. Although he has picked up the pieces, the effects of his life choices still linger.
Hello, Esther. And Ken. Najua nimekosea sana, ndio nilikuwa nakupigia. Najua umejam na mimi sitaki kuwa na stress tena toka next year ya hao ama ya mtoi. Amekata.
Crowded with feelings of regret. His efforts to mend the broken bond with the mother of his children has so far proven futile. This he blames on the poor choices he made, choices that cost him everything he had gathered for years. In the efforts to sometimes seek solutions to our problems, we end up settling for means that actually end up taking a toll on us. The results, leaving us with no room to restore our lost selves to the fullest. However, we try regardless of how the society labels us. This is one story of Kennedy Ngumo, a 35-year-old who now sells second-hand shoes here in Nairobi County. For Kennedy, one mistake changed the course of his life. Inako area along Jogoo Road in Nairobi. Residents up and about in a beehive of activities, and the chatter between sellers and buyers under the scorching sun is a clear picture of what it takes to earn a living in the city.
Our lenses settle on Kennedy Ngumo, who prides himself in selling shoes, a business that now pays the bills, but with remorse, Ngumo remembers how he lost it all.
Right after I graduated, I went to Dubai for about a year or so. I worked there for a retail group called RGG, the Retail Gulf Group. I wasn't able to get my working documents in order in time, so at some point I had to come back. I got a job at a law firm, Kabiru Ndege and Company Advocates. They used to be somewhere on the Kaunda Street. Worked there as a conveyance guy, trying to pass up things at the lands office, title deeds and such. I was basically alone doing tons of work for the company, and I couldn't handle it. I tried raising the issue, but basically it just came up as a complaint or as an unnecessary baggage that did not need to be addressed.
That marking the end of Ngumo's interests in working for institutions, a job that has piled up stress, and in an attempt to ease the pressure, he made an irrational decision that would change the course of his life. The company he kept then introduced him to alcohol, and this was the genesis of his addiction.
I thought and I said, well, I don't think I need to work here at all. I can continue being in this petty lifestyle, working for people who did not appreciate me. So that was when I chose to take the risk and go it alone. Say I would struggle to the end. At that point, alcohol was a very good comfort. I was a party freak. It used to make you a drink and cool down. So to speak, I thought alcohol was the only thing that made me feel want some respect within the circles that I was working with, or within the circles that I found myself during the weekends. So that's when I started the habit. Immediately I resigned, because that day when I resigned I was totally broke. I had about 1,000 bob in my pocket. I drank that day a few beers, and then because of the stress and the realization the next morning that I didn't have a job, nowhere else to do, I didn't have a plan. I went that morning, we had an argument, and then I went back to my side of the office. I actually wrote it in handprint, wrote the letter, and then I took it to the office. Then I walked out.
By then, did you maybe have a backup plan or something that you would do, or just resigned out of anger?
It was one of the biggest decisions I regret, actually, though it's too late to mend it. I didn't have a backup plan. It was out of, I just snapped somewhere in between, and immediately I left my boss's office. I went to mine, took a biro, and wrote something. The next thing I knew, I was walking down the lift.
After 12 years of alcohol abuse and a life that left little to be desired, his efforts to start a new business hit a dead end.
Oftentimes in society, men are viewed as leaders. And just like any institution, so much is expected from a leader. One mistake can lead to more than one person being affected. In this case, a family is involved.
I used to have a family. I broke up with my wife a few years ago because of the same alcohol thing. When I left the law firm, I started doing small businesses around. Nikaanza kuuza mtumba, that ngara. I started going around towns, selling those bales of clothes. Eventually I settled in Nakuru and got a job there, working for this phone company. They started out with techno. And at that time I met a really good lady, and we settled down. We had a kid, and things were going just fine. Things were going actually very fine. I thought that was the place I was supposed to settle down, because I had a job, my wife had a job. Everything was fine, and I could afford a lifestyle. However, a habit is always a disease. So immediately I got back to the comfort level. I started drinking again in excess, excessive. And she couldn't take it anymore.
Like many addicts, Ngumo had tried to break the addiction unsuccessfully, until one day when he met a man who, like him, had struggled for many years with alcohol addiction.
It's been about 5 months now since I stopped drinking alcohol, and I can see the change. I can even feel the change. because I think I'd stayed too much when my mind was loaded without thinking straight, that I finally started appreciating a clear thought. Right now when I sit and I think about something, I can see the clarity in it. I can even feel it. I have a kid. That's the part that pains me most. I have tried calling them severally. I tried even going to look for them at the place they used to work, but they got transferred to another station. Clearly, and she was avoiding me, and I couldn't blame her because I pushed her to the end.
As part of the recovery journey, Ngumo now sells second-hand shoes, popularly known as mitumba, an honest trade that he's proud of. He also works alongside a group of young men focused on taking the right path in life.
I'm not really a very busy trader, but it puts food in the mouth and keeps me something to save for the house, sometimes to send to my dependents somewhere. And basically that's what I do. I sell shoes. I do some big work. I'm an artist. We make poetry. We do some music. All for a coin. All for a coin. Alcohol is fun, but let it be treated as such. Let it not be a habit. The moment it becomes a habit, it becomes a part of you. And when you infect that part of you, you end up being something very different.
So Kennedy is trying to patch his life together with the hope that there will be light at the end of the tunnel and he'll be able to make peace with the mistake that he made.
Right, as we mark the end of 2022 and usher in 2023, Look Up TV will be bringing you a live crossover kesha at the Revival Sanctuary of Grace Church with Bishop Ken. Now be sure to be part of the service that will be coming to you from 9 p.m. It is at the Revival Sanctuary of Glory Church. All right, that's coming your way from 9 p.m. so that you can actually, be ministered to as you wait to cross over to the new year. 10 p.m. I'm being told that, right? That does it for us here on the program. I want to thank you so much for watching and your feedback on our socials. Chacha Robert says watching from Korea, and Happy New Year in advance. Thank you so much for tuning in and wishing us a Happy New Year. We wish you the same in the coming year, all right? A happy one, so that you get to achieve everything that your heart has ever desired. That's where I call it a night. My name is Brian Amwai. Sign language interpreter tonight has been Felista Adundo. On behalf of everyone and the entire Look Up TV team, I want to thank you so much for being with us this year, and we wish to cross over with you in the following year. Have yourselves a lovely night and a happy new year ahead.